calling to say I just calling to say I
Heaven just knows what it wants. Will I go back to the place where I belong? Everyone could break my heart, but I try my best to not fall apart. And I find it hard to let go. The memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, to the ones who never say never. You'll be my pleasure. I got nothing to be scared of, because where people live, there is always love. I know the answers in my heart, so I'll try my best to not fall apart. And I find it hard to let go. The memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, to the ones who never my pleasure. To let go. Memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, the ones who never say never. Will you be my pleasure?
Good evening, race fans, and welcome in. Apologies for the delayed start, a few technical issues going on, but we are here for the Formula Racing League Masters of the LMU. It is season number 4, and we're here for race number 2. And we're going to be on British soil for this one this evening. Good evening, folks. My name is John Wright, aka Double O Raven. It's my pleasure to be taking us through the action for tonight. If I can quickly get us in, we've got a look at the standings after round number 1. Sorry, bear with me a second, it's still not letting me into the server. This is very strange. Bear with me a moment. Right, okay, yeah, sorry, my apologies. Bear with me a moment. Let's just jump back here. We will be live with you in a moment or two. My apologies, just as I say, having some issues with the sim itself. Let me into the server. As soon as I get in, we will be right back. Apologies again, back in a moment. We are back. Apologies again. Absolutely all over the place with the technology tonight, unfortunately. It really is not playing well at all. I believe there was some issues with the server itself as well, but we are cracking on. As you can see, we are here for the Masters of Le Mans Ultimate. It is Qatar and Silverstone so far this season. Silverstone tonight, of course. Then it's Interlagos, Monza, Sebring, Spa, Le Mans, and Barcelona. If it is released, Spa and Le Mans will be combined grids in the starting after round number 1. Sorry, it was Patrick Den, of course, that took the top spot, with Zaranovic in second, Nopek currently in third place, just ahead of Demokis, Kiss, Latelia and Cabrera. Of course, long season to go, but after round number 1, this is what the top 10 looked like. Vermeulen and Broth. Broth just inside that top 10, and in the hypercars, not quite as many drivers, but it was Adam Zappler bringing home the win. Suniev in second. Adamu, who took pole in quali, finds himself finishing in third, and in third in the standings. Hentes and Steiner fourth and fifth. Davies and Besselink sixth and seventh. Pettick, Constable, and Juan Chao Pedro Sodre. Sorry, DNS is there. Sorry, so we've only got a top 9. In the GT3s, in the hypercars, sorry. Let us jump on board then and see who we've got out on track. We've got a few cars just joining the server as well, actually. Do we have anyone out on track at the minute? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And there we go, one of the Mercedes out. Let me just check, hopefully that's all running fine sound-wise. So we'll see how the drivers got on around here tonight. Of course, Silverstone, an absolute temple of speed in the UK, one of the most famous tracks that we've got. A Formula 1 does like to run there as well. Where are they? Brazil this week. Brazil this week, that should be a good one. But we'll see how the drivers got on here. The hypercars are going to have a whole lot of fun around here with very little in the use in the way of brakes. I would imagine the GT3s, of course, not quite going to be so much. Right, okay, so that is going to run on a little bit longer. Yeah, we are starting later than usual. Sorry, we've maybe jumped the gun slightly with the start of the broadcast. We've got 15 minutes left, 18 minutes left of the practice session. We're on with Nopek at the moment. We've got a good look and see what the track is looking like for the drivers this evening. Coming into one of my favourite parts of the track. I love this little corner complex. Taking you, of course, out onto the Wellington Straight. We'll be using the WEC layout for the course. Go all the way over. Oh, very nicely done on the exit there, getting the tyres well and truly warmed up. We have Bolex in the chat. Good evening, how are you? Should be the question, Marky said. We will let you have that little faux pas there, you're all good. Very easily done. So yeah, we've got 18 minutes of this practice session, and then we shall go into the 20-minute qualifying session, which is going to consist of 2. Do we have any hypercars out on track? We do not. That Lexus does sound mean. Yeah, so still got a few more to join. Again, none of the hypercars making an appearance. They're all shy at the minute. Derek Broff is in. Stachecki is in as well. Nopek is in the server. So too Demarcus Kiss. None of them out on track yet. Patrick Den, Rudy Vermeulen. Oh, there we go. A couple more cars gingerly making their way out of the pits. No Gallo or Cabrera for them. Davies joining us. Yeah, a few of the drivers still joining in. I think there was going to be a joint race between the Platinum and the Pro-Ams as well, all joining the server. It looks like that has, well, it doesn't look like it has changed. So yeah, that has changed. So we're now running a solo server, and that should move on multi-class. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, all the hypercars so far in the pits. Right, sorry, yeah, I'm just checking the chat as well to see how we're getting on, getting everyone in. We are starting to fill up a bit now. We've got 15 in the server. Only 4 in the hypercars at the minute. It's going to be a straight shootout. Suniev is in, so is LMU. Suniev, there we go. We've got a hypercar out on track as well. Let's have a look and see how much fun they're going to be having. Cycle through the cameras. Yeah, you get a good view of what's going on there, that's for sure. Let's have a look. So yeah, into Beckett. At an absolute rate of knots. Now wait, my apologies, wait a minute. Yeah, no, we're still running, sorry, everything is freezing up now as well. It really is an evening for technology. But we are now, of course, coming on to the Wellington Straight. With Suniev behind the wheel. It's going to be a shootout between himself and Admi over the top by the look of it at the moment. A little bit of a wiggle there. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how they got on with track conditions tonight. It doesn't look like the warmest out there, which does qualify as a British summer day, I suppose. I mean, just, yeah, there's no way the GT3s are going absolutely flat out over that end of the curve. Oh, he's got a bit lively there. Yeah, good way to iron out these kinks, get it done in the practice server before the race. You definitely don't want that hanging over your head. Well, the sector times are absolutely ridiculous. 5 seconds approximately between the GT3s and the hypercars just in sector 1. That can't be right, surely. That must be a bit of a slower time. Let's see who gets through sector number 2. Of course, they do start the same as the GT3 cars. The Formula 1 cars start here. Big jump up in numbers there. But still 15. But yeah, still watching. Yeah, Suniev, sorry, can't even keep track of who we have because of all the nefarious information that I'm getting up on the screen. He comes through the village complex once again, already through. Let's see what sort of time he's got. A 30.3 sector number 1. So moving very quickly indeed. They're coming back to, of course, where he jumped on board. Brake discs absolutely glowing. We'll see when he gets across the start-finish line. Let's see what sort of times we could potentially be looking at. Yep, he's getting it right over on the curves as well. What has he popped in there? A 144.0. I do think we'll see the GT3s go quicker than 2 minutes. They should find a few more seconds there, I would have thought. Unfortunately, we've had a disconnect as well. It's all happening. It's all happening. It does look like, yeah, we are going to stay in this lobby though. So we will be here. As I say, there is 20 minutes of qualifying first, 2 10-minute sessions, 10 minutes for each of the classes, and then it'll be an 80-minute race. Well, of course, I see pit stops during that time as well. Any other? Yeah, there we go. It does seem to be missing shadows there for some reason. Yeah, that is a bit of a strange one. So Demarcus Quiche is out as well. Adam, you staying firmly in the pits. Okay, I suddenly get the feeling that Pavel Steiner is driving a different car this week. I'm not entirely sure that is actually the car he's driving, unless Porsche have suddenly made the GT3 looking hypercar that I am somehow unaware of. Let's check and see what the so no onboards and no sound. And Jonathan Davies is the same as well. Yeah, so Suniev is back in the pit, so is Zoranovic. Let's get some gratuitous Ferrari viewing. Yeah, he is certainly in the hunt to do it tonight. He's not got much in the way of competition, to be fair. Not many cars out for the hypercars. Yeah, massively unsure as to why the Aston Martins are shown as Porsches this week. It's maybe a livery thing. Yeah, coming back at the pits. Yeah, Davies is in one as well, but yeah, Otsunayev is in the pits. Stener is in as well. Demarcus Keesh is still out. Adam Sharp has jumped in. Derek Broff's out in his Lamborghini. Jack Evans has made it in his BMW. We're back to 16. We've got Stegink and Cabrera both in. But they're all firmly hiding in the pits at the moment. Yeah, still communicating with the admins in the background. They're saying there has been some pretty major issues with the game this evening. So, yeah, those Porsche GT3s that you're seeing, can confirm, as you're about to see from the pace, that is the Aston Martins. Again, it is very strange that they're showing, especially with no sound either. That is the Lamborghini that he's just gone past. You can see absolutely standing still, so that is a hypercar. That is Stener, who is another Aston Martin driver, I believe. Indeed he is. Yeah, confusing times. We'll have quali starting in, what, 4 minutes? And that'll get the ball rolling on tonight's action. Hopefully the cars will fix themselves for the start of the race, so we can see and hear those beautiful last ends. It's even more bizarre, the fact that there's no sound coming from them either. That is the strangest part. Oh! And that was someone having a big bang there. That's what practice session's for, though. We're up to still sitting at 15 cars for tonight, and of course the Pro-Ams are racing as well. Make sure you get on to Formula Racing League's Discord and get yourself involved. Keep up to date with all the action and results. It does look like pretty much everyone in the pit. Nope, we've got Jack Evans out in his BMW. It's going to be fun as well. Oh, no, of course, not. Oh, good use of the curbs there. You can see such a difference between the hypercars and the GT3 cars all the way around here. We have had a GT3 go sub 2 minutes, but only by a couple of tenths. 1 minute 59.8. Massively wide there. Yeah, absolutely not the line to be taken there, unfortunately, Jack. Again, ironing out the kinks before we find ourselves in qualifying. And the rear view mirror still not working either in spectator mode. Excellent. Oh, and that is the back end away just before the pit entrance. Yep, trying to steady the ship and getting it back going again. He was feeling the pressure there. He was feeling the pressure. So at the minute, what we've got about 15 seconds between the hypercars and the GT3s. That is quite the lap time difference. As we see one of the GT3 hypercars coming up behind. I should maybe even... Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. When we tick over into quali, we'll see if those cars fix themselves, hopefully. We'll see how many we've got in. We're up another car. It is another GT3. Yeah, Patrick Den has made his way in. Quick driver is Patrick. Been a while since I've seen him racing in the series. It's good to see him back out again. And he is, yeah, done well so far. I am in the wrong one for that. Bear with me a second, let me just remind myself of some of the results. Where are we? Platinum. Excellent. Yeah, we'll check what that is about. But yeah, so the 15 drivers that finished last week's race, we've got 12 of them out this week, and as I say, the points gap up the top of the hypercars is going to get much bigger for a few of the drivers. We've only got 4 of them out this evening. Francesco Adamu not making an appearance as yet. Not many out on track. Derek Bross back in the pits. Jack Evans is still out. Stegink is out as well, and if I'm not mistaken, he's another driver. Oh no, now he's in the BMW. And he is showing as the Porsche. Yeah, you know what, just to do a full sanity check, I think what I'm quickly going to do, I will jump out and jump back into the server. Bear with me a moment or two, there as lobby codes and passwords all to be used. But yeah, bear with us a moment or two, and we shall be straight back with some qualifying action.
Calling to say I
For qualifying, there is our championship leader. Oh no, sorry, third in the championship. My apologies. He's leader as far as pole positions go. He's taken a qualifying pole so far this season. Did finish in third place though, so he will be looking to rectify looking to rectify that tonight here at Silverstone, the 80-minute race. There is Pavel Steiner. As Aston Martin now looking and sounding more importantly. There we go, absolutely spot on. What a strange evening for technology. There is Maximiev. Himself some fans in the chat. Let's see how he performs this evening. And of course, there is Jason Davies. Not in an Aston Martin. So it turns out it wasn't solely restricted to Aston Martins. There was Ferraris and BMWs that fell by the wayside as well. But there is Jason's beautiful Ferrari. Of course, I'm not biased. You are, as I do tell myself. We're still on board with LMU. Not a bad place to start considering the pace that he's shown so far in the series. I'd imagine he's going to be there or thereabouts in qualifying tonight. Such a crazy confined little cockpit these cars have got. We'll jump onto this first one. You see absolutely jamming the foot down as he heads past the pit entrance. Liberal use of the curves as you would expect. Into turn one. Left foot down. So much grip on these cars. It's absolutely beyond outrageous. Into the first chicane we go. There is Alan Palmer. Thank you very much to Alan and the rest of the admins for all the help getting everything up and running tonight. There we go, yep, so we are fully up and running. Thank you to everyone that's hung in there on YouTube. It's been a ropey start to the show tonight. Hopefully the racing will more than make up for it. Yeah, it absolutely should, even with a fairly limited grid. It is going to be a spicy one. We've got 13 GT3s with the 4 GT4s. As coming into the village complex, the first flying lap will be set by LMU. And then you'll have less than 5 minutes left. So yeah, that first out lap really does take its toll, and 10-minute qualifying, there's going to be even less laps for the GT3s, of course. I think we've maybe got someone else trying to connect to the server as well, actually, so we might see another car join. Dips across the line already at the 43, 43.1. The next two cars following him. Suniev instantly pulling over. Adamu, sorry. Instantly returning to the pit. So too did Suniev after posting a 143.5. Steiner on a 43.8 and a 46.8 for Davies, who the only driver to stay out. So Davies, the only driver to stay out. There are the rest of them coming to the pit. Steiner has gotten out ahead of Adamu. Suniev is still in the pits. I'm not sure Suniev is going for another lap. We're still on board with Jason Davies in the Ferrari. He's got all to do here. Almost 3 seconds on third place. So needs a big push through the lap. His original second times have disappeared. Of course they have, just what we need. Ooh, and that is not as solid as you'd like to be, I don't think. Okay, yeah, no, if he was a fair bit behind, I suppose. He came out, he didn't seem to be that far behind in qualifying, although he might have had a little dip back in the pits previously. By the way, he is coming onto the Wellington straight now to save 3 seconds. Oh no, sorry, it's just on a 46.4. I know, so 46.4 is his fastest time so far. He's almost 3 seconds off of the rest of the drivers. Stenner and Adamu on and out lap. I think Sunyev still in the pits. He is. Sunyev isn't going to set another time. So we'll see how he gets on. Good evening, Zorro. Welcome in. If you keep the chat in English, please, that would be phenomenal. Thank you very much. Everyone that's watching involved. Well, welcome in. Thank you for tuning in to Formula Racing League. Who are you cheering on? Oh, we've lost. We've lost Suniev. So yeah, that's Suniev out of the lobby, unfortunately. Adamu still out on track, no proof as yet, of course. For Davies, we'll find out in a few seconds how he's getting on. Adamu is going to be on a flying lap here as well, so we'll see if he can find any improvement and get into the 42s, while Stenner trying to make his way up to the top of the grid, needs to find 7/10 of a second over this lap. Yeah, so we'll stay with Adamu first because he, we'll stay with Stenner first because he is the lead car on track at the moment, just coming in to just out of the Village Complex. Wellington straight we go. Well, that doesn't look and sound very good. I like a bit of Aston action. Oh yeah, there we go. Sunyev has managed to rejoin, although he's been stripped of his quali time. So he's going to start, in fact he'll start behind the GT3s. That could be problematic. That could certainly be problematic, given how slow, comparatively speaking, they go through the first few corners. Let's see where Stenner is. An improvement from Davies, but he's off track, timing at 19, so they've only got a few seconds left. There's the GT3 cars queuing up to leave the pits. 10 seconds. They'll be given the get-go. Adamu is still out there putting in the time. Of course, the hypercars are allowed to finish their time. Oh, Stenner off track. So Stenner pushing too hard into the pits. Comes Stenner and Davies. So it is going to be back-to-back pole positions for Francesco Adamu. Sunyev, unfortunately, not getting a time set after getting, or he did get a time set, got disconnected from the server, has rejoined and has lost that time. So he is going to start at best. At worst, 17th. He might start ahead of some of the GT3s if they don't get a lap time set. But yeah, he's not going to be starting close to the hypercars, that's for sure. And again, that is a tricky opening few corners to get past cars that are much slower. Adamu did get into the 42s. 42.8, 42.6, sorry, 1.1 seconds quicker than Stenner. Sunyev was in second, so he may have been able to go quicker. I don't know if anyone in the chat, but a few fans of Sunyev in there. Anyone know what happened to Max? BMW of Stegging just running wide onto Wellington straight there. Just coming to the start of the lap. That's absolutely not what you need. Yep, no, he's running fine. There is Keys, there's Derek Croft. As I say, he was in the server. There is Adam Sharp, his BMW with steam once again. There is Cabrera in the Porsche. Now Vermeil back in the BMW, it's the Checky. Out in his Porsche once again. Jack Evans we saw in the practice session, his BMW of course. Zoranovic we saw his Lexus as well. Ozjurseven is in his Lexus as well, and of course Patrick Den, in the pits. So Den and Suniev, no times there. Nopek is on a flying lap, he's going to be the first one of the GT3s to set a lap time. We'll jump on board and get a look around here. As we heard with the hypercars, they really do, they've got a lot of give and a lot of leeway with the accelerator, that's for sure. Not so much in the way of use of the brakes for lots of this course. Definitely the complete opposite for the GT3s, very reliant on the brakes and the aerodynamic braking that they get, especially places like this, coming off the Wellington Straight of course. A heavy left to right hander to absolutely flat out, so essential that exit is absolutely nailed on. Cannot afford any mistakes at all as we do come through. Sector 2 has been completed out of the last corner. Ben is there of course on the right hand side, right on to the curves. And that is Nopeg 59.1. So straight away into the 59s. Kiko Gallo crosses the line just after him. He sets a 2-minute 1.8. And Democus Kiss, fourth across the line, second in the standard though, 2 minutes 0.362 to get himself ahead of Gallo. Cabrera, 2-minute 1.1. He's now leading the chasing pack, Gallo and Sharp, and Stegging, Jack Evans, here we go. Time's coming in thick and fast. Derek Groff, I think, is in a bit of an incident. It's 2:21 for Mule as well, and Jack Evans. Now, Gates are quite close to one another. Sjursen in the Lexus, was it Vermeil? Yeah, so Vermeil and Evans right on top of one another. He's pulling over. Right, okay, the BMW's backing right out with that one. Less than 5 minutes left of quali. Certainly a self-sacrificial move. No one's ousted Nopec so far. The Mercedes is absolutely loving life in Nottinghamshire at the moment. Okay, and he's even warming the tyres up on this lap. Yeah, I suppose 4.5 to go. Still got a bit of time. And yeah, much like the hypercars, a 1.2 second gap back to Kish. Zoranovic finds himself a further 3/10 back as he gets himself into the 2 minutes, a 2-minute 0.6. Sorry, there's Zoranovic there. There is Cabrera, 2-minute 1.1. So he's leading the rest of the field at the moment, just outside the top three. Kiko Gallo is 7/10 behind, so Gallo is definitely going to be looking for some more pace as well. Nopec still on an out lap, fiercely zigging and zagging along with Wellington. All about those tyres. So yeah, fresh set of boots obviously, try and get them warmed up and worn in ever so slightly. Needs a big run out here. here. He's got, what, 3 minutes left, so you can get this lap finished and then go on another flyer after this. Incidents permitting. Keys is on an outlap, Zoranovic is on an outlap as well. Patrick Den still in the pits. So Patrick Den still in the pits, and Krzysztof Stachecki in the course doesn't have a time set yet, but is setting a pretty good one at the moment. That is in fact a purple sector 1. Oh, sorry, my apologies. It's not quite purple, but it is very, very, very quick. And that is a decent sector 2 as well. We could be on for a quick time here for the Iron Dames Porsche. Guided by Stachecki. And it is indeed 2:140 to go 2/10 ahead of Demokas, Kish and Stachecki up onto the front row of the grid. Nopex is now, of course, on his flying lap. So we've got 12 GT3 cars that have set times. Patrick Den is going to be starting from the back of the grid. I would assume he will get put behind Max Suniev. He is going to have a very interesting start to the race. Yeah, a very interesting start. I mean, how is he going to take number 1? Yeah, my mind is absolutely blown at the possibilities of what Suniev is going to have to deal with. Oh, and his car's turned into the Porsche again. Yeah, hopefully that'll change when the sessions tick over. But yeah, we're the wonderful glitch, that one. Demokas Kiss is on an outlap. Kiko Gallo's on an outlap as well, and his legs is right. Okay, yeah, he's just about to cross the line, so he is going to get a time set. 45 seconds left to go. So Nopek, is he going to get another time set? No, I don't think he is. Absolutely not. Sorry, my apologies. There's no think about it. He's definitely not. So this is last lap for Nopex. The Czechie might be in the same boat. Oh no, he's just coming out the last corner now. Right, okay, so yeah, so this... he looked like he was winding that up there. We'll see if he does have any improvement. 2:1. Oh, now has he managed to get this? No, he's not. Stachecki isn't doing another lap. He is into the pits. So Nopek is out. Stegen is in the pits. So too is Jack Evans. Patrick Den did stay in the pits. Vermeulen at the minute, 2:5.060. Do love the sound of that. Let's see what Nopek has got up his sleeve. Is he going to get any quicker than a 59.1? He's only got a couple of corners left. Such a violent throw the car back in towards that apex to get the last corner nailed. And yeah, he has nailed that pretty well, to be fair. Oh, 59.019 doesn't quite get himself into the 58s. Very close indeed. Let's see what Demokas Kish can do. Can he get himself closer to the front row of the grid? He's on the second row at the moment. So it's Zoranovic ahead of him though in third place before he gets to Stachecki. Near identical times between Zoranovic and Kish, which is massively impressive. Let's leave that one there. Cabrera in the pits. Ozjurtsevin Yeah, no improvement there. Let's see what Demarcus Kiss. Oh, and he gets past Zoranovic. He gets so he's gone from a 2-minute point 3 with Zoranovic to a 2-minute point 1 with Demarcus Kish. That is, yeah, pretty close stuff there. We'll get a look at the qualifying times in a moment. In fact, if I... yeah, sorry. We'll do that for a moment. We'll get the full qualifying results as those horns blast through the garage. Let's see if I can get the starting order up on screen. Yes, I believe I can. There we go. There we go. So yeah, Francesco Adamu and Pavel Stener will be on the overall front row, of course, leading the way in the hypercars. Jason Davies. Oh, Max Suniev will start in 4th place, so there we go. He's right in the hunt. That's the hypercars. In the GT3s, it's Nopek and Stachecki leading the way. Row 2 for them is Demarcus Kiss and Zoranovic, Ferrari and Lexus. On row number 3, it's going to be Cabrera and Sharp, an all-German row there. And row number 4 is going to be Kiko Gallo versus Franklin Stegink into turn number 1. Row 5, Derek Broff and Jack Evans. Lambo and BMW. Row 6, it's going to be Ozurtsevin and Vermeulen. And on row 8, starting without a time, it will be Patrick Den. So we'll see how Patrick gets on from the back of the grid. Here are the drivers lining up. And of course, we don't have a full formation lap for them to deal with. So the nice high camera, there we are. Clearly not the easiest to get that to work. Yeah, so we're going to have the 4 hypercars. They're going to lead the way of the 13 GT3 cars. So there's going to be a bit of a breakaway in the points here. All 4 of these drivers, I would imagine, are going to take the spots of the top 4 in the championship. Of course, we'll get a look at that at the start of next week's race. We've still got the 80 minutes to go for this race. As we are rounding the last corner now. We'll get that in a moment. And there we go then. That is the green lights. It's foot down, it's flat out, and it is flying into turn number 1. It's a phenomenal start by Pavel Stener. He's going to go around the outside as the GT3s go side by side in the back. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. That's got Stener running the lead as Max Suniev has decided to get himself involved in the lead battle. His car is appearing once again. The paint job is gone. The car has appeared. Stener fights back and takes 2nd place. That Suniev, I was saying, maybe not the brightest of moves here. He could, oh well, he's taking the position from Stener anyway. An absolute great run through over the few corners. So too for Nopek, Stachecki and Zoranovic. They have held their positions. The longest gets Cabrera, Sharp, Stegink, Evans, Vermeulen, Kiko Gallo, Ozurtsevin, Broff and Patrick Den. He's still in the pit, so Patrick Den not starting the race. Oh, Derek Broff's the wrong way around. Derek Broff is the wrong way around. Temporary yellow flag there as Broff has been dropped off the back of the field. Adamu and Suniev are set to do battle. Stener is absolutely hanging in there. Jason Davies a bit down the road, it has to be said. Oh, and I tell you what, that is a lively one by Stener there, doing everything he can to hang on to the cars ahead. Heading into the village complex, he very nearly came a cropper, and he's given the other 2 ahead. Just enough breathing space to drop him from the slipstream. Yeah, that is a bit of a gap in the GT3s. As we can see, it is still Zoranovic chasing Stachecki chasing Nopec as they all make their way through the village complex. Bruff is back up and running, trying to catch back up. Onsier 7 is definitely catching up here. He has got himself a beautiful view of the battle with Kiko Gallo. Really for real, and I tell you what, this could be what the Gallo's about to win. He's trying to pick up the inside, doesn't have the momentum on the inside line to make that stick. Can he now be the outside line to make it stick? No, it looks like for real has got this one absolutely perfectly nailed. He's going to be giving away a lot of slipstream while these two are making their way through that corner. Onsier 7. He didn't quite get the run that I thought he was going to get there. LMU crosses the line to start lap number 2 in the lead of the hypercars, but it is a tenuous lead to say the least because Max Siriev is absolutely all over the back of him. In fact, making double contact on the way through. That's almost a push to pass there from Siriev. As the driver behind, he really does have to respect the amount of slipstream that he was getting there. It certainly could be helpful in some situations to buck traffic, use that pace to get further away from your opponents behind, but he's almost put the two of them into the wall there. So yeah, Siriev keeping it as close as possible up at the top of the field. Let's have a look from one of these fancy cameras there. Again, apologies to any of Max's fans that are watching. I know the delivery was there for the first part of the session. But yeah, everything has gone a bit pear-shaped, so we're just grateful we can actually see the car. We'll see how close he gets on this lap. That is quite a gap that's already developing between Stenner and Davies. Davies Ferrari, not a big fan of this. Now, have I missed this? He's just gone round the outside one there. He absolutely have. He's tried to go around the outside. Is he going to manage to hold on to it? No, he is not. He is going to find himself with LMU on the inside line. Has he managed to hold on to the track limits? He has. He's used the curves to absolute perfect effect there. And they're going to have a full-on run. And I did just say that Stenner was hanging on. No, Davies is dropping behind, but Stenner most certainly is not. He is absolutely not to be forgotten in this battle. These two getting so close out of the last corner into the GT3s. There's Nopec still being chased by Stachecki, still being chased by Zoranovic with Keist in 4th place, Cabrera in 5th position, just outside the top 5. It's Sharp, then Stegging, then Evans, Vermeulen in 9th place, still ahead of Onsier 7, although that does look like a bit of a bigger gap there. I think something's happened to Sabine. He's dropped right back. Kiko Gallo down in 15th place now as well. So they've all been massively separated. Den still in the pits. Prof down at the back of the grid. Let's see. Oh, LMU's behind. So LMU's got the overtake. Suniev, has gotten the overtake done. Because the cars were all black, I might actually have missed that when it happened. It might have even happened like this. I missed it. But yeah, LMU now finds himself in 2nd place. Is it going to be 2 weeks in a row? He takes pole position in qualifying, loses the lead a few laps in, and then finds himself off the top spot. It's certainly looking, or it certainly started that way. He's taken the pole position and he has been overtaken early doors. The Stenner tries to keep up with the 2 cars ahead. Looks like he might have his work out. Absolutely flying through turn number 1 as Davies and the Ferraris struggling to keep up. He is hemorrhaging pace with these two. We'll see what's going on in the GT3. Stachecki only got 1 lap set in quali. He got it at the end of quali and he got himself onto the front row, and he is not letting go. In the night time there, we've got the headlights coming on. We'll see what the shots at the moment. But these two are 3 tenths apart on LMU, half a second apart there. Stachecki. Who else have we halved in a bit of time? Gallo and Onsier 7. They are getting close again. Lexus on Lexus, and I tell you what, it's Kiko Gallo that is showing all the pace at the minute. Out of the last corner, Gallo Just finding himself a little bit wide there, 2 wheels on the gravel. That is going to quell his momentum massively on 07. With a few more corners to gather himself before what you think is going to be another attack pretty soon. Jack Evans running in a bit of clear air. Stegging ahead of him. Stegging having a bit of a wobble on the warm-up lap. But he is fine now, it looks like, and sharp running in 6th position. Adamu, oh, they're going side by side. It's Adamu that's back in the lead of the race. He's got an absolutely beautiful move done on him. Yeah, I think we're likely to see these two swap positions lap after lap, given how much the slipstream can help along. Places like the start-finish straight, the Wellington straight, too numerous to name. Especially when they get on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's, where they absolutely fly those cars. Oh no, sorry, Suniev is still in the lead. My apologies. That is freezing on me again. Yeah, if it happens again, we'll restart it just in case. All about that slipstream, all about that defending. Still full defensive display from Nopek as to Czechy. The two German manufacturers well here on British soil, Nopek and Stachecki, 1-2 in the threes, and about 3 seconds back is Zoranovic. So despite being so close, the two ahead, they're really not losing any time to the car behind. This is the ideal scenario. Certainly for Stachecki. Nopek was sure with a couple more cars to try and dissuade Stachecki's overtaking advances. Adamu opens up the corner nice and wide, really attacking those inside gears. Absolutely bouncing the car across them. A brave one to say the least. Gets a good exit there, goes past Derby on the start-finish straight. It's another lap. It's Suniev that's up at the front of the grid. Adamu in second, Stenner in third, Davies now 9.5 seconds down. So yeah, he really is hemorrhaging time on the rest of these hypercars. And as I'm saying that, yes, Stenner is suddenly starting to lose time as well. Wow, it's like his tyres just suddenly dropped off a cliff. He is massively off the pace. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Oh, it's Derek Brough back in the pits. We've just seen him overtaken by the hypercar leaders. But it's Brough back into the pits. All the action at the moment is at the top of the two splits. It's Nopek versus Stachecki and Suniev versus Adamu. Stenner is is still losing time, absolutely hand over fist to the two drivers ahead. He really was hanging with them for those opening 10 minutes, but just suddenly seems to have hit some kind of wall as far as the pace goes. Yeah, and now Adamu has suddenly dropped off as well. I'm looking at this in slack-jawed amazement. Oh, he's really hitting those curbs a bit too often. The gap between Adamu and Stenner. Captain X, that should be there. So we can see how cars. Zoranovic and Keys are about to engage in a bit of a battle as well. But it's now Adamu. I don't know if Adamu's looked at a bit of an issue there. But I've been waiting a long time. Adamu and Suniev make contact. Adamu has just lost an absolute mountain of pace. Let's see where Stachecki and Nopek are. They are still battling away, and Kish and Zoranovic, they're certainly getting close to one another. Kish in the Ferrari, looking to do well against the Lexus. Should do quite well around here, you would think. Stenner and Adamu are the closest two hypercars now. Suniev is very quickly starting to run away with this one. I know it's only 1.8 seconds, but it's been half a second up until this point, and he is going to complete another lap. The gap is going to increase. No, it's not, sorry. It's going to start decreasing, just slightly across the... So yeah, so across the F1 line there, yeah, I'm absolutely mesmerised by the pace difference. How it's suddenly changed massively in Sonny F's favour. LMU is in, yeah, he really is going to have to be very careful which lines he takes now he interacts with the traffic, given how close Stenner is. He's absolutely hanging with him, and Stichecki as well. He's got the gap down to 2 seconds. As they head past one of the pit exits. Absolutely smashing the way over those curves, as well as brave as they could possibly be. And Stichecki, quite rightly so. Oh, and that is not the best line there by Nopek. As you can see, those exit speeds massively compromised for Nopek. Stichecki, not quite so much. Is he going to get this one done around the outside? The Porsche should be pretty nimble. The Mercedes tries to squeeze him onto the outside line. Is he setting him up for a cutback here? No, wow. He has found all the grip that he needed there, has Nopek. That could have been a pretty painful one. Is that a couple of hypercars closing up in the background? It is indeed. So Sonny F again closing up on the GT3 race leaders. 15 minutes in. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of interaction between class leaders. Given the pace difference, we've got 4.9 for Sonny F and 2:02 for Nopek, 2:03 for Stichecki. So yeah, clear 15-second difference in the lap time. That's absolutely wild. Yeah, all about those brakes, you would say. Keisha's dropped back a bit from Zeranovic. We'll see. Den is still running. Ozur Zivin. He does have a bit of a gap now. Gallo has actually gone his way past Vermeil as well. Vermeil in his 10th. Kiko Gallo back up to 9th. Evans in 8th. And he is closing in on Stegging, so we're going to see a bit of a battle there pretty soon, it looks like. And another BMW, Adam Sharp, he has left the rest of the BMWs behind and having a good drive there in 6th place. Alvaro Cabrera in the Porsche, 5th position at the minute, just over the second line key. So we've got another yellow flag. It's not any of the it's not any of the hypercars. Yellow flag's gone again, so it must have just been a quick off track for someone. Oh, it's there. Oh, I think it was Zeranovic. No, it wasn't. It was Thomas Nopek, who is now down in 5th place. So it wasn't just a minor off track. Thomas Nopek has found himself tumbled down to 5th position, and Stichecki has inherited a 5.3 second lead. That is quite the turnaround in affairs. That puts Keishop onto the podium, and Zeranovic up one podium position to 2nd place. An hour to go. What can Nopek do to catch back up is going to be the big question now. As they've got some hypercars. One of the hypercars coming past. Stenner still all over the back of Adamu, and they are 1.4 seconds behind Sonny Ev at the moment. So still fairly finely poised up at the top of the field, but in the hypercars, but certainly going the way of Sonny Ev at the moment quite impressively. What happened to Nopek? Can't see any damage on the car. He has most definitely had some kind of issue though. It's one that does look like you'll be trying to inflict on Cabrera and Quiche any moment. Let's see if we can jump on to the rear spoiler of the Marcus Quiche. There we go. Yep, let's get that one on the go. So you can see what's going on behind them there. Oh, and the Porsche just completely missed the brakes. Had to run across the grass. That is going to give the Mercedes a lot more slipstream a lot sooner, and it is a very easy overtake in the end. The Porsche not putting up too much of a fight. Of course, will have lost, again, as I say, a whole lot of momentum cutting across that grass, missing the brakes. Yeah, it doesn't all shortcuts don't always work out the way you might want them. For some reason those overlays are overlapping. Right, okay, that should. Whoa, whoa, and he's at a moment. And that moment is going to be enough to see Nopek back up a position, and in fact, oh, he's had all kinds of problems there on his way into the village complex. And after running fairly solidly, that is the Marcus Quiche drops 2 positions instantly after one minor little issue, and that is Thomas Nopek back onto the podium. He's got a podium position, he's got a point to prove, and he's got 2.3 seconds to make up to Zaranovic to try and overturn second place. And then he's got another 6 seconds to Stachecki in the Porsche. It's been an absolute dream start for Stachecki. Now that he's got himself that gap, got a good run off the line, kept absolutely, hung in there with Nopek over the opening couple of laps, and a little Nopek mistake, or an incident involving Nopek certainly, and he is down at the back of the podium. Is Stachecki off and running. Suniev, Ademu and Stenner still very much the battle for the podium in the hypercars, but it is very much now a Suniev v Ademu type affair. Ademu did drop back quite considerably, and Stenner really was giving him a run for his money, but that has gone massively the other way now, as we see only 0.6 of a second between Suniev and Ademu. What's that, 20 minutes into the race? And it is these two back to within 0.6 of a second. Let's get some gratuitous rear wing camera. Let's get a correct car. Literally, these cars have all the bells and whistles. Some amazing sounds that come off them as the brakes work, the aerodynamics work, the energy kicks it back in. That's going to be the big thing. Let's see what we're talking here. So Stenner's been doing a bit of energy saving. Suniev and Ademu 45% each. Davis on 46. So Stenner doing well so far. 4% better off than the rest of the drivers. And there we can see the positions gained and lost, of course. Net positions, Suniev up those 3 spots. Absolutely incredible drive to get himself involved. Or up 2, sorry, from 3rd. Oh no, sorry, from 4th. He did start at the back. He started at the back of the hypercars, of course he did. So yeah, 4th place up to 1st. And he is certainly giving Ademu a run for his money. Ademu though, after last week's from pole position to 3rd place, he will be looking for a race win here. Half a second between them. Ademu not quite fully in the slipstream along the Wellington straight. Maybe he doesn't want to be carrying too much on the brakes into there, but you would think, given the energy consumption and the chance to save a bit in the slipstream, that might not be too bad an idea. 45% left. We'll keep an eye on that and see when they're going to need to come into the pits. So yeah, Suniev has used slightly more than Ademu as you would expect. Stenner has Yeah, got a 5% difference between himself and LMU and Sunyev. Is he going to be able to make that count? Oh, as we see the BMW furiously flashed his lights. The hypercars getting all kinds of caught up in that one there. That's not what anyone in that situation needed. They have all survived. Absolutely pitch black out on track as well. Just like the Great British Winter, the clocks change by an hour and suddenly it goes dark from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. It's an incredible difference. An incredible swing in the times. But yeah, we are very much into the nighttime phase for the drivers. That is full headlights, full concentration. And yeah, full tilt onto the pit stop strategy. That's going to be the big question. There is Thomas Nopek. He's caught up to Zaranovic. Didn't take him massively long there, he was off to say. I think this one going to go the way of Nopek pretty quickly. No shade, of course, being thrown at Zaranovic, but Nopek, long-time race leader, even with Stachecki glued to his rear spoiler, they still managed to pull away from the rest of the field, and yet you can see just how much more pace he's carrying through the corners as the Lexus is a big wiggle. That's going to cost them both a few tenths of a second to say the least on the corner exit. And it is the Lexus with the long legs running straight under the bridge. Is he just going to straight away go for it? He is indeed. Not much of a battle put up there from the Lexus he was going side by side with, and that is Nopek back up to second place. Oh, the Lexus getting very close in the slipstream there, and that Porsche behind, in fact, of Cabrera. And Marcus Keys now finding himself in 5th position. Or 5th position once again, but he does have Cabrera very close to him. Indeed, Francesco LMU ever closer to Sonny Eve. These two really getting stuck in once again. We are going to keep an eye at the tyres. Oh no, so does that mean he's gone for a split strategy, harder on the fronts and mediums on the rears? That is, left and right. That is, yeah, very clever way to do it. Even out the tyre wear over the tyres. And what we're down to, 38%, only a 3% difference now between Stenner and LMU. So it is now, in the last few laps, it is Stenner that is absolutely putting the foot down. Not really doing them, not really having a great effect for him. 1.3 seconds behind still, as LMU and Sonny have got into the final few corners once again. We're now inside the hour left mark, 55 to go, 25 under our belts, 38% fuel for the drivers. So yeah, a few more laps they've got yet. Stenner another 2/10 of a second down, so he's absolutely booting it at the moment, but not finding the pace. We're still not finding the pace, sorry, to catch up to the two ahead. 6/10 of a second between those two. Under the bridge he goes. Still got Adam Sharp in 6th. It is Stegink in 7th. Kiko Gallo closing in on Stegink at the moment. Jack Evans pulling into the pits. He's coming in from 9th position. Vermeulo will take that 9th. He is staying out. Well, Zurzevan, we'll see if he decides to come in. Patrick Den didn't come out of the pits, in fact. He did join in quali. Didn't come out of the pits, didn't start the race, so he is down at the back of the grid. Zurzevan staying out. Yeah, so he's decided to stay out. The GT3's, of course, got a bit of a bigger, slightly bigger fuel tank, I believe, than the hypercars. So they can effectively pit earlier to go longer in the second stint. No sign of any of the hypercars coming in as yet, and Sunyev and LMU getting separated by over a second suddenly. sailing past the Ferrari there, does very nicely indeed with that gap. Oh no, back to well under a second, so yeah, traffic troubles for Sonny F. And back up to 1.3. So yeah, that is chopping and changing. These two just need to keep their head down. LMU needs to make sure that Sonny F knows he is right there. If he makes a mistake, Sonny F just needs to concentrate on completing his opening stint. For the moment, that should be enough to hold that gap again. Absolutely huge between Sonny F and LMU. And here comes Stenner. Very nearly catching Nopek there in the Mercedes. He is, look at that, yeah, just under 8 seconds to beat Tuesday. So we'll see how close he's getting when. If he does catch up before he decides to come in and take a pit stop, that could be a big factor. Demarcus Kiss as well. Still all over the back of this Porsche. Yeah, Ferrari the Porsche just inside the top 5 of Stenner and LMU. Right on top of one another. Let's see what the energy reserves are saying. So yes, Sonny M and LMU still both using energy at the same rate. Stenner, that is going to drop to 34 just before the 2 ahead go 30, I believe. That is another 2% used as they fly past the Porsche. And the Porsche of Cabrera still being chased by Demarcus Kiss. That gap still at 0.3 of a second. Stenner still very firmly over the back of LMU, and Sonny really is starting to run away from now. Managing, yeah, he's going to go close to a 50-50 strategy, I would say. Given the position that he's currently got, we do need to figure out a track map for this. Let's see. Sorry, yeah, I didn't think that worked. But yeah, the track map unfortunately not sure. We'll see if we can get a workaround for that for one of my software guys. I know a man that knows a man. Make that work. Stenner and LMU now 1 second apart. Sonny F exactly 2 seconds ahead of LMU. Nopek, interestingly, is going a lot quicker than Stachecki. The Mercedes taking pole position in qualifying, and it is Nopek that has got the bit between his teeth. The gap has tumbled since he tumbled down to 5th place. Kiss and Cabrera still battling away. The Ferrari not able to find a way past at the moment, sitting just on the edge of the slipstream. Stenner, what is that, 1.1. Nopek 6.5. Stachecki, no one improving on their early lap times either. 20.2 minutes, sorry, 22 minute point 3 for Stachecki, 2 minute point 2. For Nopek, they're head and shoulders quicker than the rest of the field. Zoranovic is quickest, is a 2 minute 1.3, so about a second slower than the top two, so really it's a race between those two. Vermeulen still got a bit of time to make up to Gallo, who's trying to close in on Stegging. Absolutely pitch black out there on the track now. All that extra fun for the drivers. Nopec 7.3. Then slowly down to 6.7. So yeah, that is just chopping and changing as we go through the course. Look how quickly he is nailing these corners. Absolutely wild. Goes completely hidden past the camera. Let's see what DeMarcus Keys is doing. Well, he is still trying to find his way past Cabrera. He's kept it, as you can see, within that 7/10 of a second for quite some time now, so he should be fairly acquainted with Cabrera's habits around the course. He needs to find himself a way of dissecting that and getting a move done. We are, 47 minutes left, so we're 7 minutes away from the halfway mark. Yep, so the hypercars will make it beyond. Stenner back to within 3%. Suniev and Ademu 22% left. Davies has been pushing as well. He's got the same energy now as Stenner. We did have a yellow flag out on track. Oh, it might have been on Zurtsevin. Yes, it was on Zurtsevin just getting himself out of the way of one of the hypercars coming through. He's now being lapped by the GT3s as well. Jack Evans too, he has just been lapped by Nopec. As you can see there, Nopec very close to him, as that is Suniev coming through from the race lead. Davies, I think, has been into the pits. No, he's not. Oh, so the yellow flag, sorry, was Davies. So yeah, sorry, Davies just behind there. He is suddenly 52 seconds behind. Yeah, so Jason Davies has had himself an absolutely monstrous issue. Oh, big wiggle there. I wonder if he'll decide to come in. Of course, if he comes in now, he'll be able to refuel to the end, to the end of the race. It'll take a while. Stays out, doesn't it? I mean, that was a bit of a jerking motion there, to say the least. Across the start finish line there, left to right. Hopefully everything's running okay for him. You don't want to be taking any chances. We'll see Nopec and Stachecki. The Stachecki certainly steadying the ship somewhat. The gap has maintained and in fact has increased. We'll see if it stays there. It has jumped up and down to 7.3. Is what we're looking at the moment. With DeMarcus Case and Alvaro Cabrera, sorry, in the Porsche, fending off the Ferrari. Let's see what rear camera. The Porsche does look quite good on the front splitter, but we'll stick with some spoiler cam for the moment. And we'll see if Cabrera is able to continue to fend off the advances of Kish before they come in to take their pit stop. We saw. Zurtsevin is out of the race. Zurtsevin is out of the race just on the last lap there. So yeah, something has happened to SimGrid. And he is out. Then there was 14. So 14 of the GT3s out on track. We're of course watching Keys and Cabrera at the moment. These two are the closest that we've got out on track. Davies is hemorrhaging time to the rest of the hypercars. Stenner starting to lose more and more time to Ademu, who in turn is losing more and more time to Suniev ahead of him. jump on. Oops, is that the right? Nope, I've gone the wrong way. Totally lost me. Yeah, Sonny F running away with absolutely everything up at the front, and that is the halfway mark. Almost directly upon us. 43 left to go, round number 2, the Formula Racing League Masters of Le Mans Ultimate Season 4. It was an interesting start. I tell you what, it's getting interesting again back on the front. LMU is now closing back up to Sonny F. Yep, Sonny F wringing the neck out of it, but not nearly as much as LMU at the moment. He's overtaken him on fuel, on energy usage, and it seems to be paying dividends as they come up onto the back of one of the BMWs. That is, of course, Adam Sharp, 6th position in the GT3s. We'll see if we can get. Oh no. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what we've got in here, and that's not the pit straight, that's the Hamilton straight. There is a pit box there, of course, but not for these drivers. Off into Village. And the old Aintree to Wellington connection. Oh, now Demarcus Kiss just gone over a second behind Cabrera. So for Cabrera doing well in the Porsche. To fend off the Ferrari, and we've got a Porsche, of course, leading the way. Stachecki still out in front for the GT3s. This is going to bring him some good points if he can hang on to this race win. It does still, could still go the way of Thomas Nopek. I mean, it could go the way of any of the drivers, but Thomas Nopek, given the pace that he's shown so far, he is definitely capable of catching up. It's going to take him a lot of 40 minutes to do so, but definitely not out with the realms of possibility. The track really is cooling down as well. There's been no improvement on the lap times, flashing the lights to let the GT3 know they're there, because they do close in very quickly indeed. Sonny F safely navigating his way through. That's Cabrera and Quiche, as we've just seen. We were watching recently. There they are, now being overtaken by these two once again. Just an absolute mind-blowing amount of difference between the pace of these two classes. 15 seconds. It's wild around here. Another Lexus to deal with right through a chicane as well. And I hope you heard that there. That is how much he's had to lift. And LMU, it just goes to show how easy it is to lose time to these cars. They are so quick. I mean, it does save them obviously when they're accelerating past the other traffic, but there is absolutely no hiding from the amount of time that's just been lost there. And that is the yellow flag popping again. Let's see who we have this time. See if we can see who we have. Yes, solid yellow there. Hypercars all the things to check here. Maybe Nopek just dipping a wheel up. Oh, and that is Davies just dropping a wheel there. As they ran about 6 down, Cabrera and Quiche now 1.1 seconds down. Yeah, no, Adam Sharp's still running. Gallo as well. Vermeulen is ahead of Stegging though, so I think it's Stegging that's had himself a yellow flag. He's got Jack Evans chasing him. Certainly Stegging now 9th. Vermeulen up to 8th position with Gallo ahead of him. Nopek still 6 seconds ahead, but it is only just 6 seconds. And Adamu again is absolutely closed up. They've got themselves caught behind one of the BMWs here, and that's played right into Adamu's hands. They come out of the last corner. They're absolutely nose to tail. Is that onto the Hamilton straight? It is. So that's the Hamilton straight into Village. Quick shimmy shake. This is going to be the Wellington straight. Very interesting indeed, as Stenner does come into the pits. So Stenner has come in. 11% remaining. Suniev and Adamu down to 7 and 6 respectively. Are they going to need to mandatorily come in on this lap? 38 minutes left for the race. I was going to say 37, not quite. 42 minutes gone. 37 minutes left. Yellow flag. We'll see. Yes, indeed, we've got one of them coming in, and it is Adamu. So Adamu, who actually is slightly more than Suniev, has come in, and Suniev has come out. So is Adamu just answering to the call of Stenner, or is he looking for an undercut? Suniev looking to negate that. He's going to need a very, very, very quick lap if he's going to do so. Davies has closed a bit, obviously, while they're in the pits. He's got Stenner behind him. Nopek, I'm not sure if he can. Yep, let's just quickly check if anyone else. No, so no. Oh, Stachecki's come in, sorry. So Stachecki has come in, and Nopek is back in the lead. So there we go. Stachecki and Adam Sharp's gone past him as well. Kiko Gallo. No, he's going to get quite close, but won't be any cigars there. It is a long pit exit. Just coming through the last corner now, so yeah, Stachecki should be out and running. Indeed he is, nice and safely. Stenner is now only 6/10 behind Davies. He's going to blast past him if initial pace is anything to go by. And Adamu is out of the pits, 65 seconds down. He now is, and Suniev is going to have to. Well, no, sorry, my apologies, I've misspoken. He doesn't have to come into the pits. I think he's got enough energy. Yeah, he had enough for one more lap, but he has come in. And Adamu 58 seconds down. Davies now behind Stenner, so didn't want too much of a battle. And Quiche and Cabrera are still battling for overall 4th and 5th. They're currently 3rd and 4th with the pit stops starting to come in. Nopek, Zelanovic and Cabrera. The top 3 currently Quiche and Sharp 4th and 5th, and it is Christoph Stachecki back in the pits in 6th position. So decent turnaround there for him, as expected. Max Suniev comes into the pits. We'll see where Adamu is, or we'll try and see where Adamu is. Not the easiest at this time of night. So he's just coming around the last corner now. Suniev is moving once again. Adamu is definitely moving, that's for sure. He's along the start-finish straight. Suniev is now released and into the corner. Adamu is going to go around the outside, and he's made the undercut work by quite the gap as well. So incredible strategy by Adamu. Finds him now 1.4 seconds in the lead, and that gap is extending. He really was shifting through turn number 1. And he has got that undercut working. It's absolutely dialed in. It's about a 2 seconds, that's approximately a 2-second swing in the gap between these two. And Suniev has got it all to do again in the second stint as Adamu. And now 1.6 seconds up the road. We've got a battle in the GT3 still between DeMarcus Quiche and Alvaro Cabrera. And only 3 tenths, and so we'll see when one or both of them come into the pits. What effect that has on the race? That is definitely them both out on track, can't confirm. Zoranovic and Cabrera. Stachecki back into the top 5, so he's 33 seconds behind Kish and 44 seconds behind Nopek. So Nopek is going to need a very, very, very slick pit stop, and we are about to see it. Well, gets reversed up onto the platform. Let's see. Stachecki, there he is there. I couldn't see him for looking. He's on. Is that the Wellington Straight? Yes, it is. That is the Wellington Straight. He's coming into the final couple of corners. Nopek is rolling. How far along the pit lane is he? As there's Davies coming into the pits. 1.1 seconds between the hypercars. And here comes Stachecki around the last corner, and I'll tell you what. The undercut has not worked for Stachecki. Thomas Nopek is back out in the lead of the race. Well, actually, we'll have a look. There's how things are running at the moment. LMU ahead of Soniev, and as you can see, Zoranovic is ahead of Cabrera. Kish ahead of Nopek and Stachecki. Of course, the three ahead of Stachecki and Nopek all still to take their pits, but that is an absolutely incredible race from Thomas Nopek to find himself effectively net leader in the GT3s with what is that? He's got a 2.5 second gap back to Stachecki. That is an incredible turnaround. Huge undercut backfire there. It's almost backfired for a couple of drivers there. That's Soniev coming through. 1.2 seconds. What can he do with 31 minutes of the race left? We need to get that on as well. Sorry, that keeps disappearing. Yeah, so 1.1, so he needs to catch up there. Kies and Cabrera still running second and third. Still Cabrera in the Porsche, running ahead of Kies in the Ferrari, but that is still 7/8 tenths. So again, the pit stop looks like it could be a big deciding factor between these two. One of them makes the slightest miscalculation, and they are in all kinds of trouble against one another. Very slick from both of them, 7/10 of a second there. And Steiner is ahead of Soniev. Soniev's in the pits. Soniev, I don't know if something's gone on there, but he's jumped back to the pits. Pavel Steiner is up to second place. And Davies might make a place back here as well. Soniev is going to be there for a while. Jason Davies is going to make his way onto the podium here, I think. Yes, Soniev's not moving. Soniev's not moving. He's going to join. Oh, Adam Sharp and Jack Evans are both out as well. So Jack Evans in the BMW, Adam Sharp in the BMW. They join Ozjurtsevin and Derek Bruff in the pits. Again, anyone in the chat, there was a few people in saying hello to Max. If anyone knows what's going on, please do let us know. Because yeah, that Davies has gone past. He's still in the pits. We've got more drivers coming in. Demarcus Kish and Zoranovic have come in. Cabrera has stayed out, so can Kish make the undercut work? Nopek and Stachek 2 seconds apart. You can see just how close they are, which is indeed very. 30 minutes on a very, very, very cold track to work their magic. So what we've got, 9.9 seconds. So LMU, absolute gift from the gods after being denied the race win and finishing in 3rd place last week. He has been gifted a clear run at the win there. Again, I'd love to know what is going on with Suniev. If anyone does know, please do feel free to pop that in the chat. Coming out of the pits, the Mokis Kiss finds himself behind Zoranovic. I feel like we're missing a Ferrari. Oh no, sorry, Demarcus Kiss, yes, Alvaro Cabrera, there he is, he's just coming into the pits now. Goodness me, it's the Porsche we're missing from the Porsche Ferrari battle. It's Alvaro Cabrera coming into the pits, so Nopek and Stachecki will retake 1 and 2 with 1.2 seconds between them. Where is Cabrera going to come out to compare to Demarcus Kish, though? Kish just behind Zoranovic, so he's certainly closed the gap there. Cabrera is still rolling, and I tell you what, this might be job done. Yep, that's coming out the last corner on the start-finish straight. Cabrera, no, he's not, my apologies, he's been released. Cabrera has just been released there. No pickings to check it out through Zoranovic. Demarcus Kish, oh, he's off in turn 1. Demarcus Kish is massively off in turn 1. And that is a huge mistake there for Demarcus Kish, and that is job fully done and dusted. Alvaro Cabrera has got himself a shot at a podium. His closest rival is Zoranovic, 2 seconds down the road. No such gap over the top of the GT3s, those to Checky and Nopek once again. Only 8/10 apart with 25 minutes to go. That is going to be a fun finish in the GT3s. The Porsches have done well here tonight. To say the absolute least, Suniev is still in the pits. So he's not coming back out. But yeah, the Porsches, they have done well this evening. Of course, Cabrera in 3rd. Stachecki had himself to lead the race for quite some time. Look how much easier it is for those Ferraris, the hypercars, to make their way through entry there. Just a little tap of the steering wheel, woof, and over the car goes. Absolutely no problem at all. We'll actually jump on board with Stachecki to get some slightly better visuals. There we go. Bring a bit of light to the screen. You can see just how dark it is. For the drivers out on track, they are going to be absolutely loving life out on there. And again, we will give everything a technical tap and try and get these rear view mirrors. No big wobble there. And that is a bigger wobble by the Mercedes. Nopek starting to feel the pace at the end of the race here. Did he go? for a no tyre change strategy, and everyone in 20 minutes would just be pushing the limit on these tyres, I would say, so potentially didn't take any tyres, although I'm sure it is a mandatory requirement in the pits. No, it doesn't actually say. We need to double check that. We're going to be keeping an eye on this one, I would think, until the end of the race. 23 minutes left of this to go. LMU is losing a bit of time to Stenner. I don't think he'll be overly concerned though. He's got 8 seconds to fend him off. We'll see. Yeah, they made sure they fully topped up on energy to get them to the end of the race. So yeah, they're absolutely in until the end. Yeah, I'd be stretching that back out. 2.8 Watkins to Checky do though. This is for a race win. This would do him absolutely wonders in the standings as well, of course. In the GT3s at the moment, Nopek is in third. Stachecki, in fact, didn't race last week. That's right, Stachecki didn't race last week. So last week will be his drop round. Zoranovic in second, Patrick Den. Zoranovic is third, Nopek's in first. I think Nopek will take the lead of the championship. Going into round number 3. Oh, and that is a big difference there. That is a massive drop off in the pace, and that is a Porsche pretty much getting left behind there out of those couple of corners. Beautiful engine sounds once again. Cabrera and Kish, that is, after Kish's mistake, that is a big gap between those two. Cabrera though, he's keen to have a battle before the end of the race. He has got third place, only 7/10 ahead of him. Could we see all 3 of the podium positions changing in the GT3s in the closing 20 minutes? I wouldn't be overly surprised, given the level of racing that we see here. Stachecki absolutely hunting down Nopek at the moment, as he's done for vast swathes of the race. Cabrera as well, certainly keeping Zoranovic on it. Oh no, though the gap has increased back to 1.1, 3/10 of a second. We are looking at between these two up at the front. As I said, we've got less than 20 minutes to go. You've got to know when to hold them, and you've got to know when to fold them. So Stachecki here, he's got, you'd say what, maybe 15 minutes? What do we reckon? 15 minutes to bide these time, try and size up and pretend, size up an opening, or see if there is any kind of error from Nopek. We have seen one since he come out of the pits, another one like that, and that would instantly let Stachecki straight on through. There would be absolutely no questions asked on that one. It would be signed, sealed, delivered, as done and dusted as you could imagine. Coming past the alternative pit lane once again and back into the village complex. This is so much fun through here. With the headlights, heavy on the brakes, throw it round, use a nice midline there to open up the final corner, which is the N3 curb. And then on to the Wellington Straight once again, 0.3 of a second, so Stachecki well within slipstream range. The Mercedes is mighty though in a straight line. And we see even with a slipstream, he's only closed up a couple of hundredths of a second. And in fact, in the braking zone, that's a tenth gone back the way of the Mercedes. So it is a juggling act between the two of them. And it is the Mercedes that is leading the dance at the moment. Slightly different lines here from the two of them. I think we can bring up as well, in fact, the... there we go. The best lap times between the two of them, only just over a tenth of a second, separating the fastest lap of these two drivers that we're currently watching. So it is absolutely all to play for with 17 to go. That'll come back up. There we go. LMU now finds himself 10 seconds ahead. So that's going to be 2 pole positions he's taken in the opening 2 qualifying sessions, and it's going to be back-to-back podiums. Looks like it's going firmly to be 2 steps up. Sonny F still in the pits. Davies is a minute and a half down on Steiner, who's 10 seconds down on LMU. Still only half a second between these two though, so we will of course stay on board and see how the two of them get on. We'll get a good look at those headlights of the Porsche. I believe we've got a right hand. Yeah, let's go for that one. So close between the two of them, so close, and they're running at what, 2 minutes a lap, so they're going to get about 8 laps left. So still plenty of time for Stachecki to be eyeing this one up. See just how close it gets. And so much shadow being thrown in the back of the car from the headlights as well, but that is how dark it has gotten. It was pretty cloudy when we started. It's got absolute pitch black since we've been out on track. Yeah, it's not going to get any very lighty anytime soon, that's for sure. Stachecki still hunting down no picks, still Mercedes versus Porsche at the top of the GT3s. LMU absolutely lighting up the timing towers now compared to the rest of the hypercar field. He is increasing that gap to Steiner, Handover, Fitz-Davies. I tell you, if after 2 laps you paused the race and asked him if he thought he was going to get himself a podium, I don't imagine it would have been an overly resounding yes, but that is the way the fates have gone for him. And that has worked absolutely perfectly. As far as getting him a podium, just having a look at the hypercar standings. LMU will find himself top of the tree. Going into week number 2, Steiner is going to jump up to second. Jason Davies is going to jump up to 3rd place. So yeah, the 3 cars that finish will be the top 3 in the standings going into next week. Of course, there is a drop round over the series for the drivers to take advantage of. That's a few of them that are going to be taking them tonight. 8 rounds. Oh, I tell you what, he's almost taking the nose off him there. Let's get back to the helicopter situation so we can properly enjoy the side-by-side action between these two. Let me put that back there. There we go. Still at 3/10 of a second. He's absolutely hunting him down at the moment. We do still have... no, we don't. We've got 8 of the GT3 cars left, unfortunately. Broth, Ozurt Savin, Jack Evans, Adam Sharp, Patrick Den. Not making it to the end of the race. Rugen Miguel will pick himself up 8th place if he brings it home. Stegging's currently in 7th with Kiko Gallo in 8th place. The Marcus Keys in 5th position, as we can see, 20 seconds behind Cabrera after that mistake. Cabrera was closing in on 3rd place, but is now 4.5 seconds behind, with Zaranovic holding firmly on to 3rd place. Stachecki as we've seen, still in second place behind Opec, still with a bit of time to work in the hypercars. Jason Davies, as we can see, the Ferrari, looking good for a podium. The Ferrari really not doing well here at Silverstone for him, but thanks to the driver count, it's a podium that is on the cards for the effort. Stenner in second, and Adamu is still running in first place in the hypers, but it is straight back to the battle between these two. Yeah, so half a second between these two. We've got 12 minutes left to go. So Stachecki is now starting to run out of laps to make a move and see if he can find Davies has just got a lap down on Adamu there. Given the pace, no real surprise, but again he's bringing home that podium, so he won't be too fussed. Stachecki will put some more on-board shots. Yeah, let's get some steering wheel action on the go so you can see just how much effort he's putting in to catch up into turn number one once again. Less than half a dozen times. Ooh, the Mercedes liberally using that corner entry there. Wasn't close to the curves on the right hand side. Did manage to keep it between the Mayo and the Mustard on the left hand side. And through Maggots and Beckett's. There's a little bit of a bounce on the inner sausage curves there. Tentative approach to the curves by the Porsche, but both exit onto the straight very nicely indeed. That gap still sits a half a second, but it does look visually as if the Porsche, the Mercedes has got a much better getaway, although the gap stays within a couple of thousandths of a second until they get into the braking zone. Tiny little extra bit of steering there on the curves from Stachecki, but with these fine margins, that is all it can take sometimes. Now the gap is stretching. Oh, has Stachecki done himself a number on his... I mean, surely not done a number on his tyres. Maybe Stachecki didn't change. And he's now running the older tyre. We shall see. And the gap dips to below a second once again. It's just tipped down. So 7/10 here. Just having a look. I thought I saw cars down the field getting close, but no, they are still massively spread out. The Marcus Case is still losing time to Cabrera as well. So it really is just about. Although Stenner has got it back to within 10 seconds, so Adamu taking it easy a bit. Potentially already got one eye on next week. Not the case here though. Stachecki will still have his eyes firmly on that rear Mercedes badge. And hoping to make a move. It's Interlagos next week. Of course, the Formula 1 is there this week. We'll be there next week, same time, same, or slightly earlier, but same planned time. As round number one will be off and running slightly earlier next week though. We are running a bit behind, so we have tuned in a bit later. We did start the race about 16 minutes late. So yes, we've got another 9 minutes to go to bring this one to a close. So a few laps for the... Oh yeah, sorry, same number of laps. Actually, no, sorry, where is Adam? He's just coming past now. So yeah, so there will be another extra lap for the hypercars compared to the GT3s. That is a GT3 gap that is now increasing up at the front. That is sitting at the second through the village complex this time around. Mr. Checky really needs to find something big here. Lopek just having to make way for the hypercar to come through in the corners, but he's still far ahead and not be giving him any slipstream on the Wellington straight, so should be happy days in the final two corners. Once again, you're already onto the start-finish straight past the pit ends. Yeah, those hypercars really do move. Oh, I tell you what, the Checky has as well. Slipstream. No slipstream, no problems. The Checky back to within half a second again. And yeah, out the last corner. That is an incredible run by the Porsche. They've got another hypercar coming up behind. So Checky used this one to his advantage. We can only hope. I'd love to see these two get a bit of side-by-side action on the go before we come to the end. That is Stenner catching up past the Porsche like he's absolutely standing still. And Lopek, there we can see the difference in the gap between the two of them. It is absolutely not far at all. Yeah, Stenner, that's him whistling down at the club, taking off like an absolute man on fire there. 7 tenths, 7 minutes. Will we see a change up the top? What do we think in the chat? Anyone voting yea or nay? Well, sorry, yeah, a couple of other things going on in the background as we watch the end of the race. We've got 6 minutes of this one to go. Adding you up at the top, still by that 10 seconds. Sorry, there's adding you there. Nailing it past the Lexus. Yeah, 10 seconds of a gap back to Stenner. As I say, Jason Davies will be very happy with his performance tonight. Might be a fair bit down on the cars ahead of the Ferrari. Again, not doing well at Silverstone at all. But he is bringing home a podium at the moment. Just needs to survive. What is that going to be, about 3 laps? Another lap done and dusted for Lopek, and it's another one in the lead. No, sorry, my apologies. Oh no, that is the start-finish straight. I thought that was the Hamilton. Not the easiest to tell in these lighting conditions as Davies catches up. He's brought up just on the way into Magnussen Beckett's not the most ideal position to do so. There are a couple of spots around here you can certainly interact with the traffic easily. This is definitely not one of them. Right around the outside goes Davies. That's him up and running. It hasn't hindered Lopek in any way by the look of it, so he will be delighted at that one. He's not got long left to go now. I'd love to know how Stachecki's tyres are holding up. Still got Vermeulen down at the back of the grid in 8th place, Stegging in 7th position. Kiko Gallo running in 6th place still. 5th, as we can see on screen, it is the Marcus Kiss with Cabrera in 4th place, and Zoranovic in 3rd position. It is still the awesome twosome up at the front of the TT3s. Stachecki and Lopek. Looking forward to seeing these two continue their battle for the rest of the season. Stachecki, as I mentioned, not here for round number 1, certainly making up for it here though in round number 2. That is for absolutely sure. Sorry, just me spilling water every place. Good stuff. It's always good to stay hydrated, but make sure you do pour the fluids where they're supposed to go. 6/10. It's still the gap. That is another lap completed. We've got 4 minutes 15 to go. It's all going to be about when this man crosses the line. He is putting the foot down once again. That gap extended back out to 11 seconds, so his sector times Absolutely on point in this at these late stages of the race. He is clipping over every sector, then Steiner at the minute, so a well-deserved race win will be coming home. Of course, Soniev will be absolutely gutted to finish this one in the pits. Would love to find out what happened to him. Nothing forthcoming in the chat at the moment. Yeah, can't see anything in any other chats. I'll maybe see if we can get some clarification on that for next week's broadcast. Oh, what's happened there? Is the checker going off track? That was at 1.5 seconds there. Look away to get info, and suddenly the gap between the two of them has over doubled. We're now sitting at 1.1. So the Mercedes struggling to keep up. That's no, it's Zaranovic. That's Vermeulen. Yes, it is. It's Vermeulen that they've just come past. So they've just flagged past Vermeulen, Stegging as well. Stachecki gets it back to within 8:10. Says he's going to make it a grandstand. Final couple of laps. We know these cars can do 1 minute 44s in the race so far. This is turn number 1, so he's just started this lap. You'll get this one finished and get another one run, which will put another 45 seconds closer. He's just overtaken them. That's 1 minute per lap. So yes, the GT3s will have the same number of laps left. So Nopek has got to finish this one. Now that is obviously dependent on them being able to cross the line, so the GT3s are going to finish. This is their penultimate lap. So this is their penultimate lap when they cross the line. Wow, the pace difference is absolutely mind-blowing to work out sometimes. LMU is still flying, Nopek and Stachecki. This is Stachecki's last chance. Once they cross the start-finish line here, they are going to be on the final lap. 0.7 of a second is still the gap. I'll tell you what, the Mercedes looking very planted indeed. He's had a few wobbles throughout the race. But when it's really counted, he's got the head down and he has managed that gap expertly in these closing stages. Or has Stachecki simply been playing possum? In turn number 1, we go for the final time of asking for the GT3 race leaders into Marcus and Beckett's with half a second separating them. LMU. Let's see if we can work out where he is in the darkness system. Coming into Chapel. Yes, indeed it is. So he'll head down into Club and then up the Hamilton straight. So he has almost done his lap already. Steiner 12 seconds behind. Stachecki half a second behind. As you can see, just on the other side of the course there. Oh yeah, he is keeping Nopek honest. That is for absolutely sure. If he was playing possum, he's done a pretty magnificent job of doing so. He's keeping it very close indeed. Dropped off to about a second. 11 seconds to go into the village complex. We go with that half a second. Francesco LMU though. He is on to the Wellington straight. He is about to see the checkered flag, and it is going to be as a race winner for the first time in season 4 of the Masters of Le Mans Ultimate from Formula Racing League. It has been a hard-fought win, especially for the first half of the race, but that is LMU coming out there last corner, lights absolutely flashing, and well deservedly so, as he brings home the race win. Steiner is going to follow him home in second place, and it looks like Nopek has done enough to secure himself the race win here into the final corner. He's got a 0.7 of a second gap. It's been another absolutely incredible. Sorry, this is on the Hamilton straight. Sorry, yes, this is the Hamilton stage, so they've still got a bit of the lap to go. My goodness me, that is how far behind the GT3 cars are, but that is Adam, you already in the pit, Stenner across the line, and Jason Davies. Now, is he taking the checkered flag? No, he's just exiting Church now, that's Aintree. Village, sorry, that's Aintree that he's coming through past one of the Lexus. Let's see where's the check. He is still 0.8 of a second. It looks like this fly-by-wire has absolutely flown Nopek. Looking to bring home a race win. It's going to give him the championship lead going into round number 3. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting read for the rest of the field. In fact, Nopek and Stachecki are going to go first and second. Even Neil's going to see himself jump up the grid as well, but there he is. A Mercedes Masterclass from Nopek that brings home the race win. Very nicely done indeed. To both of them up at the top was Stachecki in second, Zoranovic in third, Cabrera bringing home 4th place. The Marcus Kish already in the pits in 4th place as the rest of the field are joining them. We'll get a very quick look at the results in a moment. But that was round number 2 of the Masters of Le Mans. That's why they are called the Masters. We don't quite have the results up as yet. What we will have to do though, apologies, we as I say, we did start a little bit late, so we are running a touch behind schedule. And unfortunately the session results, we're not getting them up on screen at the minute. I'm not sure everyone is. No, we're not going to have a chance to get those up on screen. Apologies. But I can confirm that in the hypercars, it was indeed Francesco Adamu taking pole position in qualifying and finding himself on the top spot. Pavel Stenner in second and Jason Davies in third place. For the GT3s, it was Nopek, Stachecki and Zoranovic on the podium. Meaning we are in for an absolute cracker of a round next time out, and that of course will be Interlagos. So make sure you do get tuned in for that. Thank you to everyone that's hit the like and the subscribe on the YouTube tonight. Thank you for everyone that has tuned in. Apologies for the technical difficulties and the late start to the stream, but we will be back fighting fit next week, 8 PM UK time, 10 to 8, sorry, UK time for the kickoff. We'll be back with another 20 minutes of qualifying and 80 minutes of absolutely grandstand racing. So make sure you get tuned in for that. Until then, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.